Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I am your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. You can follow the show on Twitter at Cup of Joe Pod. You can email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. You can support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. Folks, back again recording. Today is my birthday as I am recording this, which means this week starts the 5th year of this podcast. We will celebrate our 4th birthday this next week, and then our 5th year of podcasting. So great that you all have joined me in this journey. Thank you so much, everyone that has come along the way, picked up from the beginning or along the way. I really do appreciate it. Today we look at March to WrestleMania IX special from the WWF. The March to WrestleMania IX was shown on the USA Network on March 28, 1993. It was recorded March 7, 1993, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, close to where I lived for almost 13 years. We start out with our intro. Highlights from the contract signing between Yokozuna and Bret Hart, and Yokozuna attacking Hart. Vince McMahon and Bobby Heenan welcome us to the show. They preview what we are going to see tonight. Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji versus Randy Savage. Savage is extremely over with the fans. Savage starts a USA chant. It takes a while for them to get started. Savage avoiding Yokozuna's charges. Yokozuna knocks Savage down. Yokozuna with a shoulder block. Yokozuna in control with a headbutt. He throws Savage outside and then follows. He runs Savage into a barricade. He runs Savage into the ring steps and then throws him back in the ring. Savage coming back with right hand punches and Yokozuna is rocking. One chop by Yokozuna knocks Savage back down. Yokozuna follows it up with a power slam and a leg drop. He chokes Savage on the ropes for a 4 count. Savage hits a double axe handle to rock Yokozuna. He goes to do it again and Fuji hits Savage with the flagpole. Yokozuna hits a belly-to-belly suplex and gets the pin. Fuji then instructs Yokozuna to do the bonsai drop, but Savage moves out of the way. Savage with a high knee to drive Yokozuna to the outside. Officials then come out to keep them apart. Flashback to Lex Luger's debut at the Royal Rumble and knocking out wrestlers with his forearm. Mr. Perfect versus Skinner. Skinner attacks Perfect from behind before the bell rings. He runs Perfect into a corner. Perfect goes outside and Skinner follows. He runs Perfect into the ring steps. Perfect runs Skinner into the ring post. Perfect rolls Skinner back in. Skinner with an Irish whip takes his belt off and clotheslines Perfect with it. He then whips Perfect with the belt. Back and forth. Skinner hits Perfect in the forehead. He then stomps Perfect down. He runs Perfect's face along the ropes. Skinner misses a corner charge when Perfect moves out of the way. Perfect with an atomic drop and a corner whip. Perfect follows it up with corner-mounted punches. Perfect with a rolling snapmare. Perfect choking Skinner with his boot for a 4 count. Skinner takes his gator paw and jams it into Perfect's eye. Skinner with an Irish whip, but drops his head and Perfect gets the win with the Perfect Plex. A WrestleMania IX ad. Reverend Slick talks about Kamala taking Bam Bam Bigelow down at WrestleMania, but the match would end up not happening. Kamala with the Reverend Slick versus Kim Chi. Kim Chi attacks Kamala as soon as the bell rings. He tries to get Kamala down, but Kamala gets a bear hug. Kamala with an Irish whip and a chop. More chops, kicks, and a scoop slam. Kamala with a splash. He turns Kim Chi over and gets the pin. Kamala attacks Kim Chi with the pith helmet after the match. Slick then puts the hat on Kamala. We get the WrestleMania music video. Flashback to what led up to the creation of the Megamaniacs and the match being made for WrestleMania. Money Incorporated, Ted DiBiase and IRS versus Jerry Sabin and Reno Reagans. Sabin is the Italian stallion. IRS and Sabin start, back and forth. IRS throws Sabin out and DiBiase runs Sabin into the ring steps. He then throws Sabin back in. Riggins and DiBiase tagged in. Money Inc. with a double Irish whip and back elbows. DiBiase chopping Riggins in the corner. DiBiase with a corner whip and a backdrop. IRS tagged in. He gets Riggins down. DiBiase tagged back in. Money Inc. brutalizing Riggins and quick tagging each other. DiBiase gets the $1 million dream on Riggins to get the win. Mean Gene Okerlund interviews the Mega Maniacs and Jimmy Hart. Hulk Hogan talks about Money Inc. attacking Brutus Beefcake on Monday Night Raw. They talk about forming their team and say they are ready for Money Inc. Hart says Money Inc. is going bankrupt. This segment went on way too long. Flashback to what led up to the Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania between Tatanka and Shawn Michaels. Michaels then says he's walking out with his title and Tatanka's scalp. Ouch. Tatanka versus George South. Tatanka with a home field advantage of a sort here as he is very close to his hometown. The bell rings and they circle each other. Tatanka chops South down. He then throws him down. South beats Tatanka down in the corner. Tatanka coming back with chops. He hip tosses South out of the corner. Tatanka with a scoop slam. South rakes Tatanka's back. Back and forth. Tatanka fires up. He chops South down several times. He hits the fallaway slam and gets the pin. Shawn Michaels comes down to ringside. He grabs the mic and asks Tatanka if he thinks he has a chance of beating Michaels at WrestleMania. He goes to leave. Tatanka calls him out and says, "Let's not wait for WrestleMania." Michaels comes back to the ring apron before leaving again. We get a WrestleMania IX report. The Beverly Brothers, Bo and Blake and Little Louie versus the Bushwhackers, Luke and Butch and Tiger Jackson. Bo and Luke start. All Beverlys to start. Now all 6 men in. Jackson drop kicks Louie. Jackson and Louie both tagged in and Jackson took over on Louie. He gets some 2 counts. They do some comedy spots. Butch and Blake tagged in. Blake attacks Butch from behind. Butch coming back. He gets a bulldog on Blake. Luke tagged in and gets Blake down. Back and forth. Blake goes outside and Luke follows. Back in, Bo and Blake double team Luke. Bo tagged in and gets the 2 count. He gets a top rope double axe handle on Luke for another 2 count. Blake tagged in. Quick tags by the Beverly Brothers. Blake and Butch both tagged in. Butch cleaning house and now all 6 men in. Jackson hits a crossbody on Louie to get the pin. Flashback to the Royal Rumble and Giant Gonzalez taking out The Undertaker and everything that led up to their match at WrestleMania. Bam Bam Bigelow versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. Undertaker very over with the fans when he comes out. Bigelow attacks Undertaker as soon as the bell rings. Undertaker comes back with a drop toe hold. Bigelow bails to the outside to regroup. Bigelow with an Irish whip. Undertaker comes back with a DDT. Undertaker choking Bigelow in the corner for a 4 count. Undertaker then does old school. He follows it up with throat thrust to Bigelow. He charges Bigelow, who ducks, and Undertaker falls to the outside. Bigelow slams Undertaker on the outside. He runs Undertaker into the ring steps. He does it again. Back in, Bigelow with a belly-to-back suplex, but Undertaker keeps getting up. Bigelow can't get Undertaker to stay down. Bigelow with a scoop slam and a falling headbutt, but Undertaker won't stay down. Another falling headbutt. Bigelow drags Undertaker to the corner. Bigelow goes up top and goes for the diving headbutt, but Undertaker moves. Undertaker with a flying clothesline. Bigelow leaves the ring and gets counted out. Harvey Whippleman and Giant Gonzalez are in the aisle. Undertaker goes after Gonzalez. Officials come out to keep them apart. Whippleman and Gonzalez finally leave. Vince and Bobby hype WrestleMania IX and sign off from Fayetteville. Final thoughts. This did a pretty good job of hyping up WrestleMania. It's worth at least one watch. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TheJoeyHairs. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.